Alrighty, cool. We'll be ready in just one moment. Alright, yeah, just getting the last few things set up, and then I will be ready to go. Okay. Alright, good afternoon everybody. Today is Sunday, April 6th, 2014, and welcome to RoopleeTV episode number 6. Alright, hey, how's it going everyone? I'm Rooplee. Welcome to episode number 6 of RoopleeTV, and today I want to talk about a hero that's been huge in the metagame, huge in every game, and just wildly popular around a lot of the scene. As you may have guessed, it's Ember Spirit. I mean, Lycan has been around a lot too, but we're going to focus on Ember Spirit today. Part of this is because I wanted to focus on a carry type of role and what a carry should do, when a carry should go in, but also I wanted to give you guys the insight on, like, you know, how Ember Spirit works, why he's so popular. His versatility is like bar none pretty much, and he's just a powerful hero overall. Honestly, that's just how it goes. He's very versatile and he's very hard to kill. So I want to show you a couple of games. Actually, they're both Teamliquid versus EG, so that's really exciting. In the MLG TKO, we're going to see the differences that Arteezy and TC take on the same hero. So, two very different gameplay styles. TC is a very conservative player, and Arteezy is a very aggressive, and he is also... he'll take a lot more risks than TC will. TC usually is not known for taking like any risks at all, pretty much. I mean, he'll take risks if he has to, but in general, TC is a very calm, calculated player, and Arteezy is a very wild and aggressive player. In comparison, Arteezy will go for kills that TC will not go for, and Arteezy may die in the process. But you know, it's two completely different styles of play. Yeah, so. Let's get ready. Let's go into the games. Alright, so here I've got the first game pulled up. This is in MLG TKO. It just happened yesterday. Actually, 24 hours ago from right now. So I'll go ahead and pull up the first game, and we'll just get right into it. So we've got free camera. That's good. Okay, so... in this game, we've got TC, Koikva. We actually have a couple stand-ins for this game. Demon is standing in, as well as Fluff and Stuff, which he recently got removed from the team, Teamliquid, or he is no longer a part of the team, and he is now in. And yeah, so he's in, Demon's in, and then we've got Bulba, Koikva, and TC are the actual players for Liquid in. And then for EG, we have PPD. Mason is standing in for Fear, Universe, Zai, and Arteezy. So let's just go ahead and skip right into this. So this was a remake. We will not be checking out any of the picks or anything like that. Yeah, so everyone's just picking their heroes that they had from the draft. Alright, so let's back up. One thing I want to talk about this game that is particularly interesting is that PPD plays a monster of a Treant Protector. So that is definitely one thing to look into, is that PPD's Treant Protector is just really, really powerful, especially against especially with an Ember Spirit, because he's able to keep Ember Spirit alive even without participating directly into the lane. So what we have right here is EG is just securing, you know, their aggressive stance right now. They're just going down here, while at the same time, Teamliquid is securing their defensive stance. So they're going to actually team up. Everybody except for Bulba is down here. And that's actually a pretty pretty typical and pretty standard. Liquid isn't looking to team fight a level 1 with this kind of lineup. They do have a rocket barrage, which is nice, but they don't want to necessarily team fight. They just want to try and secure their areas, make sure that nothing crazy is going on, block the ancients, because Beastmaster, as some of you may or may not know, Beastmaster is a really good off-lane / ancient farmer. His wild axes do composite damage, so they do damage to ancients, and you can just stack and kill the ancients if you're not getting farm in the lane, or even if you are getting farm, to double up in farm. So Beastmaster likes his ancient camps, and if you ward them, then he gets screwed over. Anyway, let's go back to Arteezy on the Ember Spirit. So Arteezy checked the mid rune. PPD blocked the camp while he was going, so he could get a favorable block, but he actually did not. This is a pretty good block for Koikva. He's making it just a little bit better, pulling it up. So ideally, if you're on the high ground up here, as the other player, you can't see where the other hero is, and that vision is pretty key. Just having it right up here is really, really good to have. And now it gets pulled all the way back to his tower, so Arteezy is not really off to a good start. He already had to use a tango, and he's down health. Koikva did burn a lot of his mana, though, which is really key to notice, because the 2 ways that Dragon Knight stays in the lane is through mana and through Dragon Blood. He does not have Dragon Blood yet, so he cannot take hits any better than most other heroes. I mean, he just has his 4 base armor and normal health. And Arteezy knows he's also low on mana, so he can go and he can just put a lot of pressure on Koikva. Koikva did go for a bottle rush with just 2 branches and 2 pooled tangos, so Koikva is fine in lane now. He is back to full health. Arteezy went for the stout shield, but he will be going for bottle right away. And we can actually look right now is a pretty key time as far as a mid lane goes. Arteezy will want to push the lane starting about at the 45 mark just to secure the rune. He wants to make sure that Koikva cannot get this rune. Arteezy is known for bottle crowing more than securing runes, honestly, but either way, he doesn't want that rune to go to waste, so he's going to just pressure this lane forward. Koikva is actually at a disadvantage here as far as the rune goes. The rune is an illusion rune down bottom, but we'll see if Arteezy actually goes for it. Like I said, he usually just bottle crows, so he's bringing his courier all the way up here, and he may just bottle crow. He doesn't even care. Yeah, he does not care about the illusion rune. Naga Siren ended up picking it up. So, and then it looks like Universe is going down. Yeah, that was actually a good play by Demon to pick up the illusion rune and go for it. But Arteezy just wanted to make sure that he could secure his farming experience, and that's the advantage of bottle crowing, is that you don't have to leave the lane at all. It's harder before the 3-minute mark, because after you hit 3 minutes, the courier can be flying, and that just helps out a lot. He ended up only drinking 2 bottle charges so that the courier would not get reduced move speed. And there, Arteezy was just going for some extra harassment. His Searing Chains it hits 2 targets randomly, and it did not hit Koikva, which is what he was going for. So he was trying to put some harass on Koikva. Right now, Koikva is not really killable by Arteezy by any stretch of imagination. Arteezy has to be careful because he could die with a Dragon Tail. If a support would come up and a Dragon Tail, actually, if he just waited a little bit longer now without the bottle, he would just die straight up. But luckily for Arteezy, there's no real pressure from the enemy supports. So Dazzle and Naga Siren are not pressuring him at all. They're just staying down in this general area, keeping him safe. This lane in and of itself, like I said, doesn't have a ton of killing power right now. Both of these heroes are very focused on keeping control of the lane. Dragon Knight is definitely a much more conventional mid hero, but he is able to get the rune. See, he was able to, if we back up just a little bit, this is what Koikva was doing to secure the rune. So he bottles, and then what he does is he's actually just makes sure that his wave is ahead, and he'll use a breathe fire to get that last hit, get some damage on Arteezy, and then just go directly for the rune. So he didn't have to bottle crow there at all, and he just refills. And Dragon Knight with an invisibility rune isn't too scary. Pardon me. He's just, yeah, he's not really that scary. I mean, he's got a 2.5 second stun and a nuke, but he doesn't have any mobility advantage, or he's not going to want to leave the lane early. And both teams know that the mid heroes are not going to leave the lanes early, so they can just secure whatever. Arteezy is going to just wait for the bottle crow. He has to play really defensively now since he's at 250 hit points. And TC is the only hero that's seen down here. Like, they don't know where Fluff and Stuff is, and Buff and Stuff, aka Demon, is up here. He's going to try to go for a gank on Mason and fail horribly because Leech Seed and Living Armor are really good at keeping Storm Spirit alive. So Arteezy and Quakefa are just going at it. Universe is thinking about trying to get something done, but no, they can't really gank Quakefa very well at all. So as long as Arteezy knows where Fluff and Stuff is, he is safe. Like, as long as he knows where Fluff and Stuff or Demon is, because either one, the Naga, if the Naga and the Dazzle both came into his lane, especially before level 6, he would be in trouble. But especially since he hit level 6, Arteezy hit level 6, Net does very little to nothing to him. The Fire Remnants, he can still jump from Fire Remnants while netted, so that's really nice. And he's just going to, he was planning on using his double nuke to get the kill there. So one thing about Ember Spirit is that, a couple things about Ember Spirit is that, first off, you can lay multiple remnants at the same time and you get that burst damage for each of the remnants, even if you only cast the spell once. So that's a better way to nuke heroes down earlier on in the game. Like, once you hit level 6, if you are going on the aggressive and you have somebody locked down, you can lay 2 remnants instead of 1 to get an extra 100 burst damage for free, essentially. In general, you want to try and keep that 3rd remnant around, assuming you have the mana, because having a remnant gives you an out. You have the ability to escape as long as you have 150 mana and a remnant. But what Arteezy did there is he just used 2 of them. Did not expect to get stunned right away. That was actually really good by Quakefa to Dragon Tail him right before he got that. So that pretty much saved Quakefa's life right there, because the extra 200 burst damage just nukes down any hero pretty much at this point in the game. That and level 3 Searing Change. So another thing is, actually, if we go into the game, Arteezy's build order is a very aggressive build order. So one thing about Ember Spirit is that once you hit level 3 Searing Chains, you get an extra second on your disable. So that's an extra second of disable and an extra second of damage. So at level 3, he has 3 seconds at 80 damage. That's 240 magical damage, and a 3-second disable, which is really powerful. On top of that, Sleight of Fist it has the bonus hero damage, so that's why it's good to level up. Flame Guard is a very defensive spell. You want to level it up if you really need that extra magic defense, but the problem is it takes 2 or 3 points to be even worth it. At level 1, it only has 50 magic absorb, which is nothing, you know. That's if somebody sneezes on you with a spell, it's gone pretty much. So the build right here for Arteezy is very, very aggressive. You can have all sorts of different builds. One of the more common ones is to go 3-1-1 early on, because Flame Guard, if they don't use a spell on you, is half of a Radiance worth of damage, and that's pretty huge. Unfortunately, Ember Spirit doesn't have the mana pool to really cast all of his spells at that point in the game, so that's another thing to consider. But for the most part, on Ember Spirit, I would recommend getting these 3 points in Searing Chains early on. That extra second of disable and damage is huge, and you can do a lot of different builds. Some people like to max out Sleight of Fist first, and that's good for harassing, but I wouldn't count on it getting kills earlier on in the game. Alright, let's go back into it. But I can talk a little bit more as it's going. Yeah, the extra points in Sleight of Fist just lower the cooldown and increase the damage. So it's very mana efficient, but it's not really able to kill people. Arteezy does go for the rune because he knows the rune's bottom. He has a ward pointing to his rune up top, and he can see that the rune is bottom, but he was not able to get it, so he immediately bottle crows. He bottle crows, he cannot use the burst of speed. In general, you always want to use the speed burst when you're going back to town with the courier, unless you need the speed burst to stay alive. For the courier to stay alive. That's the best time to use speed burst, is just keep it until something is in trouble. But in general, especially in this matchup, they're not expecting to have a Nature's Prophet or somebody teleport behind. They're just expecting to get the courier wherever they need. Arteezy does actually end up getting a magic stick as well, just to give him a little bit more of a boost, because Ember Spirit's mana pool is not that big, and just those extra charges of the magic stick are going to be key for him to keep his mana alive. So he does end up bottle crowing again. He picks up the wards and Zai's TP scroll, so he has been pooled a TP scroll, as well as he's going to just get vision on mid and just keep his mid lane secured. Yeah, the phase boots, huge pickup for Ember Spirit, because that couples with the Sleight of Fist very well. It also tells me that he's going for a more aggressive lineup. Defensively, you can actually get mana boots on Ember Spirit, and that gives you enough mana, but since Arteezy is mid, a bottle is good enough. Most people get a bottle on Ember Spirit because he really doesn't ever have a problem filling up a bottle, ever. Worst case scenario, it's after he hits level 6 on Ember Spirit, you can just go back to town with your TP scroll, but lay a Remnant right before you go back to town, and then just use your Remnant to come back into a fight immediately. Fill up your bottle, get full health and mana, and a full bottle, like instantly. So that's why, for the most part, when you're playing Ember Spirit, you should probably have a bottle. You can pick up runes because you can roam, you can bottle crow, and you can just TP back to town when you need to fill up and just come right back into the fight, so you don't miss out on anything. I mean, it costs you 1 TP scroll to get full health mana and a bottle, which gives you, another 400 and some odd health and 210 mana. Yeah, so what's happening right now is that Koikva is bottle crowing as well. So Arteezy is going to push this lane out just a little bit, get all the last hits, and force Koikva to last hit under the tower, which at this point isn't that big of a deal because Koikva has more. He has 79 damage, which is pretty good. He's able to do enough damage to the creeps to be able to last hit fairly well. Earlier on, it's a lot harder to last hit under a tower, so there are times that, especially when you have a melee hero in mid, you want to just try and force him to last hit under a tower if you're having problems. So, actually here, I want to pause and talk about another strategy that you can do with Ember Spirit. So, Ember Spirit has Searing Chains as well as Sleight of Fist, but during Sleight of Fist, you can actually use spells and items. So, a very, very, very effective and popular combo is to use Sleight of Fist, and when Sleight of Fist goes off, immediately cast Searing Chains. That way, you have a good chance, if not, you have a good chance of using Searing Chains on the heroes from an immense distance. So if we go back into the game, I'm going to rewind it just a little bit and go back into the game right before he teleported out. So back into the game, we've got Arteezy right here. He's going to TP into this lane, and we can slow it down just to check it out. But what he's going to do is he's going to use Sleight of Fist when he's within range so that he knows to just immediately hit Searing Chains right after. So he uses it and then immediately hits Searing Chains. Because he attacked Koikva before the creep wave got there, he was able to Searing Chains both of these heroes out. And now we can see, actually I want to show you how many hit points it takes away, just this little bit of harassment. So as we can see, we have 1,900 hit points on these two heroes respectively. Just one harassment, and bam. Oh, Dazzle, why did you heal? Even after the heal, he's still at 600, and, well, Dragon Knight's a beast and has a ton of health. But as you can see, just with one more harassment, Gyrocopter's down to 380 hit points. Oh. Anyway. Sorry about that. Let's go back. And so, with this right now, Ember Spirit, Arteezy, is being aggressive. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Arteezy is a very aggressive player. He likes to go out and go out of his way to get last hits. Potentially even get a hero kill here if he just gets the right Searing Chains. But that would be a very ambitious and kind of not ideal role to do. So Arteezy's going out. He's like, oh, I can get some farm. The problem is he doesn't have a remnant back anywhere. Like, there are no remnants on the map for him to jump to. None anywhere. So he's running out here just like basically just going for it. And Bulba uses his ultimate. Wherever Bulba is, I don't even know. He's mid right now. So Bulba uses his ultimate and tells everybody to say, hey, go on Ember, nuke him down before he can get away. And you can see he just gets nuked down before he even gets out of the level 1 stun. So it didn't really make a difference that he didn't have a remnant there, but they were just pushing with at least 3 heroes that he knew about. I'm not sure if he knew that Buff and Stuff Demon was there, but he knew everybody else was there and shouldn't have gone in by himself, in all honesty. I mean, that happens to everybody, even the best of players, but he paid dearly for it. I mean, he lost his life, he lost his uptime, you know, now he has his first death, so that cost him a decent amount of farm. He's now able to farm down here because they've left the lane. He is not putting up a defensive remnant at all, which means that he has to back up like this a lot more frequently just to stay out and stay back from them. Earlier on, it's harder because remnants cost a lot percentage-wise if you're mana pool early on. He only has 494 mana. But as you can see, just that harassment right there, just that harassment immediately blew up Dazzle. And that's what I was talking about with the double remnant earlier. So you actually go back, Fluff and Stuff is at 500 hit points. And then you just see Arteezy's running up here, his aggressive self, all by himself. But Dazzle's at 500 hit points. And then a Searing Chains does plus 120 damage, Sleight of Fist does plus 120 damage on top of his right click of approximately 100. So 220 damage, physical. And then his Searing Chains will do another 240. So that's almost his full hit points. 2 Fire Remnants will do 200 more, so that's 680. And then minus approximately 25% for armor and magical reduction is enough to kill him. And just, I'm actually going to slow it down too. So he just Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, and he sees what's going on. He pops all 3 of his remnants actually, and he just goes in. Boom! Like, he just killed him instantly, and like got pretty close on Demon too. Down to like 229 hit points. You like my Jigglypuff Song of the Siren? Yeah. I enjoy playing with the sound bits. It's fun. So Demon is able to TP out because of the Song of the Siren, but just that one explosion was able to almost instantly kill 2 heroes. Koikva does pay for it by not, because he didn't TP out as well. He didn't have a TP to TP out. So the mobility of EG's lineup is just able to punish that horribly. They have Storm Spirit, they have Ember Spirit, and they have Treant Protector. So like either one of the 2 spirits can jump in, and then after the 2 spirits jump in, they get tree armored, and then they just explode. Like, Storm is known for his burst damage, but the way Arteezy plays Ember Spirit is he uses multiple spirits for a massive nuke. And that's also, I guess, why he doesn't keep that defensive spirit in the back, because he plays aggressively, he lives aggressively. That 300 nuke damage for 150 mana is really good. He's defending the tower right now, so he just TP'd mid to defend the tower. Double damage is by far the best rune ever to get on Ember Spirit. he has a lot of mobility. So haste rune doesn't mean that much. Illusion rune doesn't mean that much. But to get a double damage rune means that your sleight of fist is, has double the physical damage. Mason is just dominating. So he was safe lane and is just creating tons of space. I know that phrase is overused a lot. I apologize, but he is just making room for Arteezy to farm. And Arteezy is actually going for a much more early game oriented build than a lot of builds on Ember Spirit. So there are quite a few builds that you can go on Ember Spirit, which plays into his versatility. He's so good with so many different sets of items that you can play him pretty much how you want based on what items you want. So a couple of builds are, you can go for what I like to call the Mass Battle Fury build, where you get 2, maybe even 3 Battle Furies, and then you just go and pop everybody. That is definitely like a carry type of role, needless to say. You get your first Battle Fury pretty early, and then from there your second Battle Fury takes about half as much time, and then half and half and half. Not saying you should stack 5 Battle Furies on them, even though it is hilarious and you just kill their supports instantly when that happens, but usually it's good to go 2 Battle Furies, and then you go for Daedalus or Desolator, depending on if you need that Desolator debuff on towers and heroes. If you have another core that's a damage dealer, you can go for that. But that's like the pure damage dealing route. The other, a couple of other routes are to go for like a Lincoln's type of build. It doesn't do much damage early on, so it's kind of like getting a Lincoln's on a Weaver, but not quite as potent. Actually, it might be as potent. Never mind. I take that back. It might be the same as just getting a Lincoln's on like a Morphling or a Weaver. You go for that item first so that you prevent that first gank. You prevent that first stun from hitting you. Ember is a really squirrely hero, kind of like a Morphling or a Weaver, where if you lock him down, you can kill him. But if you don't lock him down, he will just disappear. Yeah, he could be anywhere on the map, like Morphling, and using his ultimate at any point in time. So you need to lock him down. So you can go for like a Lincoln's first build. You can go for a Mass Battle Fury build. The third build is a much more push and teamfight oriented build early on, which is the drums phase. Maelstrom, that type of build. Eventually go into maybe like even a BKB if they have a lot of lockdown and silence. But that is just focusing on, I'm going to win this game in 20 minutes. We're going to make this a 20-minute game, and as long as we're ahead, we're going to win. If we're behind at 20 minutes, then we don't really have a backup plan. Actually, in this case, EG has Storm as well as Ember Spirit, so they do have a backup plan. But Arteezy is going for the phase drums, Maelstrom, Basher type of build. Basher does work with Ember Spirit, but it's completely random, so I wouldn't count on it, really. I actually haven't done that either, but there you go. Like, there's 3 different builds. You can go for the early game push-oriented, teamfight-oriented, the late game teamfight-oriented build. Ember Spirit is one of the best teamfight carries in the game, like, bar none. If you go Battle Furies on him, he will just destroy in team fights without having to be in the center of a team fight. Like, he is kind of like Gyrocopter in the sense that he just does damage to everything. Ember Spirit needs more farm than Gyrocopter to be that effective in team fights if you go for the Battle Fury route. But if you don't go for the Battle Fury route, he's about the same as Gyrocopter early mid game. Honestly, he has about the same qualities as Gyrocopter, but he has an escape. So he's like a better version of Gyro, pretty much. But the late game, if you get 2 Battle Furies, you're doing that 70% cleave, and that cleave is based off the first unit you hit, and ranged creeps have like 1 armor, and melee creeps have like 2 armor. So hitting those and doing the 70% cleave to everything just means massive damage to everybody else on the enemy team, and usually only 1 or 2 sleight of fists are needed, and then the entire enemy team is dead. Like, if they didn't get hit by anything else, 1 or 2 sleight of fists will just kill the enemy team once you have 2 Battle Furies. So take that for what it's worth, but Ember Spirit is one of the best team fight carries in the game. And like I said, you can play him for early game or later game, depending on your item build, which makes him really versatile and a really good, not a comeback hero, but a really good versatile hero as far as like, if you're behind, you'll stay behind, but the whole goal of Ember Spirit is to make sure that you don't get behind. And you can do that through your item builds and just how you play the hero. So right now, Arteezy is afraid of the gank. All of the heroes are off the map. Rightly so, he should be afraid of the gank because they've got Fluff and Stuff and Demon both smoked up right here. TC is still farming, but Arteezy is playing very cautiously because he knows something like that might happen. Fluff and Stuff does place up a ward here, pays for it with his life because of just a single Sleight of Fist did like 250 damage to Dazzle. He even popped his full wand, but he was able to get a ward up here. So right now EG has map control. They have a lot of map control, and they're just able to take control of this and keep going forward, and it's looking good for them. It's looking really, really good for them. Arteezy has farm, and he has a double damage rune and a regen rune, so we're actually going to slow down right here because something important is going to happen soon. An interesting thing to note. But Arteezy is actually just by himself in middle, more or less. I mean, he does have... Oops, I missed the important thing. He does have a little bit of support down bottom with this Beastmaster, but he's pretty much by himself right here. And Liquid knows this, so they go in, they try and nuke him down as much as they can. Living armor, and gets out. Like, that... Living armor gets out, and he has a regen ring. So, just to slow this down again, just to give you an idea of how ridiculously powerful this hero is. So he's 14 minutes in, he's by himself. Like, he pops the remnant right before he gets nuked. He gets hit with living armor, and well, he gets hit with like everything. Is able to pop his wand and then just hop out. Like, he had almost no hit points, but able to stay alive, and that was actually a huge save. If Liquid would have gotten that pickup, they would have been able to push this tier 1 tower, possibly. Black Hole is up, so they would have had a hard time, but it would have been 1 kill. And with Dazzle being able to, he does not have his ult yet, so he could not use his ult to help push. But either way, they would have been able to put a lot of pressure on the tower with a Dragon Knight and a Gyrocopter being able to push the lanes. But instead, Arteezy is full health with a bottle, and they're going to do Roshan. So they're going to actually sacrifice his boar so that Enigma can make his Eidolons, and then they're going to be able to take out Rosh from there. Or maybe the Hawk. Actually, he'll probably sacrifice the Hawk. Liquid figures out about this. PVD gets caught out. He'll probably be able to cast Overgrowth, and that's about it. Nope, he just got hurt. But this is the power of Ember Spirit, and this is his biggest strength. Like I said before, he's like Gyro, but does Gyro's job later, or does the job similar to Gyrocopter. Demon had an on-point sleep, which was actually able to stop Black Hole and stop 3 of his teammates from dying. Gyrocopter would have died, as well as whoever else was caught in the Black Hole. I forget who, but like, as you can see, like, the sleep was able to just save Koikva and Bulba's life, and then TC's able to get into. Like, they would have pretty much wiped that team fight if Demon was not up there like that. So, kudos to Demon for saving everyone's lives. But Arteezy on the Ember Spirit, it just excels in team fights like that, amazingly so. And he has an escape, unlike Gyrocopter. So, like I said, he's like a Gyrocopter, but he just works out better in general. Don't get me wrong, Gyrocopter is a great hero, but yeah, just like Liquid and EG both kind of like those kind of team fights, but Ember Spirit has already gotten a good advantage. And even though TC's doing a great job on the Gyrocopter, it's just not enough, and he has to get the BKB to stay in the team fights, whereas Ember Spirit does not. that's the biggest advantage, is that Ember Spirit can do his job a lot more safely than Gyrocopter. So he's able to go for a more aggressive stance and get more aggressive items in order to save himself, or not worry about his death, because Sleight of Fist can be used from, you know, a pretty good range. If we just look at that circle, like if you look at the circle and then the cast circle is another big circle, you can go pretty much anywhere on the screen with it. So knowing that, they're not afraid to take these team fights, especially with the Treant Protector and the Enigma. They're not afraid to take team fights at all. In fact, that's kind of what EG wants. Like, they want the team fights. They want the chaotic team fights, which is why the Naga Siren pickup was actually really, really good for Teamliquid. Because Naga Siren can reset any form of team fight. Arteezy is actually playing back right now, rightly so, but he's going to almost get caught out, but he played that defensive spirit. Actually, if we go back just a little bit. So he played a defensive spirit right up here some time ago, knowing that this might happen. And then he hops to spirit number 1, pops the second spirit, and you can actually, since you can use spells during there, he uses his TP scroll and gets out. Morphling can also do that, as well as Storm Spirit. Morphling had it disabled for a while after TI2, but they gave it back to him, so he can do that as well. But that's a really good foresight by Arteezy in order to stay alive yet again. Yeah. So he's actually sitting in a good spot right now. He's going to go into this team fight because they've got Storm Spirit here as well. I mean, his entire team is here. The one disadvantage to sleep is that things like that can happen and you can get it turned around. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should Google the play Dota 2 and you can see how sleep fights can get turned around. If you haven't seen that, actually, super, super important. So there are a few plays in all of esports I would call as the best plays of all time. The play in Dota 2 was at TI2, Navi versus IG, and you guys should watch it if you haven't. It is the best Dota play like I have seen. I was there and it was awesome. But there are a few things in esports that are like the best plays ever. There's the Wombo combo in Melee. There is in Street Fighter 3. There is a Chun-Li versus Ken matchup, which is also amazing. And the play is another amazing play that, like, you should watch. It's fantastic. Anyway, it just shows how Naga Sleep can be a double-edged sword. Just like that right there. So, they were able to take a tower, able to push. They have a huge advantage right now. They have multiple towers, they have everything, and pretty much from here on out, there's not too much more to see. Arteezy is working on his build. They're able to just take down towers. See, even in this position right there, if we go back a little bit, we can see that this is a pretty bad position for EG right now. There are 3 heroes right here, just wanting to jump on Arteezy and PPD. So PPD gets netted. Arteezy is able to actually go on the offensive there while his teammate is dying because he's Ember Spirit. So he's able to go on the offensive, do a Sleight of Fist, and then just get out. Here in a second, we'll see. So Arteezy failed to block the stun there. While you're in Sleight of Fist, you are actually invincible. Nothing can hurt you. Nothing at all. So you can use it to disjoint all sorts of things. You can disjoint snipes, like Marana disjointed snipes from yesterday's RoopleeTV episode. But you can also use it for, yeah, pretty much just to dodge anything. You can dodge anything with the Sleight of Fist, which looks really cool when you do it. You can also disjoint some things with Fire Remnant. It's not as good as Sleight of Fist, but you can definitely dodge things with the Remnant. And then they're able to just kill Roshan, and from here on out it's just, you know, pretty straightforward. We've got, who picked up the Aegis? Storm picked up the Aegis, so you know, it's looking really good for EG. We'll go ahead and just fast forward to the team fights. So, like, they're able to just run and catch people off guard like that. Naga Siren's ult is barely off cooldown. Like, just barely. Look at that. Not going. Yeah, so, like, he just died with, like, 1 second on the cooldown. And he was going to be able to survive without that. So, in this team fight, Mason is just in the middle. He's got his Aegis still. TC is firing his shots, trying to get whatever kills he can, but just the amount of healing from PPD with Leech Seed as well as everything else just crushes them. So one thing that's really understated in Dota is how powerful Leech Seed is in these team fights. So if we look, Leech Seed actually gives, even at level 3, it's 48 damages per pulse, and it has 5 pulses, I think? 6 pulses. So 6 pulses of 48 healing. 6, you know, about 300 healing even at level 3. At level 4 it's 360. So to give you an idea, just like 300 AoE healing on a 12-second cooldown, eventually 10-second cooldown, it just, Universe is that, like, almost no health. It actually, well, he died, never mind. He was the one casualty, but like PPD's still at full health, and Arteezy is just crushing people with his double damage rune. So that double damage rune definitely just made that fight from easy to cake. And then from here, it's pretty much over. I'm not gonna lie. Like that kind of crush in a team fight just means that you're just going to lose your base. Like they're going to push in, they're going to go and win from here. There's not too much more to go in, and I actually want to go into a second game here. So I'm going to cut this game out. If you guys want to watch it, it's actually, I'll put the match ID in the list, but it's from the MLG TKO tournament. Yeah, I'll put this match ID actually in the comments for the YouTube video. Otherwise, just try and remember the number 596456565. All right, I trust you guys. You got this. You got this, guys. You're good. Yeah. Alright, so let's go into the second game, which is actually in the same series of a best of 5. It is game 2. And this is going to have a very different outlook. So we're going to have TC playing the Ember Spirit actually in a defensive tri-lane, which is way different than the middle matchup that we saw earlier. And we're going to see a different side of Ember Spirit, and again, another reason why he's so versatile and so powerful is that he's playing the heavy carry. Pardon my speed of words and number of heavies, but he's playing the #1 farming position. They're going to have a Naga Siren mid, so he's not completely reliant on everything, but he is the farmer for the game. He's going to get the most farm out of anyone else, or ideally the most farm out of everybody else. And we're actually going to see how it goes for him. Let me just set up the game, and we are in. Bam! Sweet. Okay. So we've got TC over here on the Ember Spirit with his good old buddy Koikva playing Naga Siren. Demon's playing Dazzle. Way2 is playing Visage, and Bulba is going to be playing the offlane Nyx. Way2 did end up making it back for this one, so hooray. Well, I mean, not necessarily, depending on if you're a Fluff and Stuff fan, but, you know, for the team to have less stand-ins is usually better. TC does get caught off guard because they, like, EG was able to just smoke up. I don't even know if they smoked. They just walked up here as 5. Going aggressive on a tri-lane against this. So the Howl gives everybody plus 20 damage. It is very similar to Ancient Apparitions, just plus 50 damage, but this is just plus 20 damage. Still really good for a carry to have a move like that. TC does try to run this way. He tries to run to the left in order to just pull them away from his team so that his demon doesn't die as well. Minimalizing the casualties. He knew he was dead no matter what, so he just tried to get everybody's attention to him. And this ward right here, aggressive stancing ward. They're going to run an aggressive tri-lane with the Mirana, the Crystal Maiden, and the Rubik. against the defensive tri-lane of Ember Spirit, Visage, and Dazzle. So, in this situation, the aggressive tri-lane from EG is a really smart decision. Rubik has a great disable, lines up directly into Mirana's huge disable, and then Crystal Maiden is one of the most powerful heroes at low levels. Visage is actually another one, so he makes a good tri-laner because his soul assumption's damage is based off of just the souls, so like he gets 65 damage 3 instances. He gets almost 200 damage nuke at level 1 with a very short cooldown, 4-second cooldown, yeah, 4-second cooldown. Costs a lot of mana, but it's able to just burst. And in this situation, we can see that TC can't farm safely. Like, if he does, he just gets crushed like that. Like, that right there, I mean, even though he does not die from this, I don't think. Oh, yeah, he'll die. Nope. Demon is there to save his life. But even then, like, Demon has a level 1 shallow grave. Like, not the strongest level 1 for a tri-lane. Dazzle and Ember Spirit are both pretty weak for a tri-lane at level 1. Compared to other heroes you can pick, like Rubik, Crystal Maiden, even Mirana for these arrows, or Shadow Demon to set up. But see, Ember is just not able to stay on in lane, and Visage and Dazzle are not able to help him out. They're both level 1, barely any experience. They're just pulling this to try and get to level 2 in some reasonable manner. Because once they get levels, they'll be better. But for right now, TC is just on the back foot. He just has to stay alive. That's his goal. He's staying alive and soaking up experience. As you can see, what Demon and Way 2 actually do a really good job of is trying to get TC so that he's not too far behind. They're trying to get TC his levels, because it's always better to have an over-leveled and under-farmed carry than an under-leveled and under-farmed carry. Demon was able to get level 2 as well, which is pretty important. Because now he has a heal as well as the shallow grave, able to keep TC alive, and actually able to kill out creep waves faster too if he needs to. But they're just doing single pulls here, and the reason for that is that they just can't find experience anywhere else. Ideally, you want to do double pulls or chain pulls, but it's too dangerous to do any of that, so they're just doing single pulls and trying to stay alive. See, TC almost died again there. There was a little bit of, I wouldn't call it miscommunication, but it's really hard to line up a moving pull into that, like a moving lift into an arrow. So Demon is a pro juker. Look at this. Just goes down. Shallow graves, no health. The problem is that was Teamliquid trying to get a kill, and they almost died. So from that, like, they're in a really bad position. Really, really, really painful position. Best they can do is just not die. And like I said before, Ember Spirit is not really a hero that can catch up when your team is behind. He just by himself does not. Luckily for Teamliquid, they do have a Naga Siren, who is not doing bad. Could be doing better against a Lycan. Lycan's actually equal on CS, but he is not doing terribly bad, and we'll be able to help them out. Quakeville will be able to help them out throughout this game just because of the fact that he's getting okay farm, getting levels. And Nyx Assassin will also be able to create, be able to disrupt EG so that they can just continue farming, so that TC can farm. So I'll go ahead and speed it up. Congrats, TC got CS number 5. But as you can see here, he's just unable to get any farm. If he goes anywhere like beyond this spot right here, he's in risk of dying. Like, he'll probably end up dying here, in all honesty. See, they go for the TC kill because that's the more important one, and they got his third kill. So at this point, TC has 0 kills and 3 deaths 5 minutes into the game. As a carry, if you get 2 deaths before like the 10-minute mark, it's usually a really, really bad sign. Like, it's always bad, but it's like a really bad sign to get 2 deaths as a carry in the first 10 minutes of the game. And TC has 3 in the first 5. So we're going to see what happens here, but in general, this is looking pretty bad. TC, one advantage about him is that he does stay calm and collected. So even though he is 0-3, he's not going to just go and throw the game. He's going to focus on just getting whatever small victories he can. They actually, all three of them in the tri-lane died. So, you know, Mirana's level 6, Ember Spirit's level 3, Mirana has phase boots and, you know, 88 base damage. Ember Spirit has 59 base damage. So, like, yeah, he did level up to the Sleight of Fist level 2. And the only reason that he did that was to get more farm. Like, he's using it to farm creeps. That's how bad his situation is. He's using this to just try and put a little harassment on the tri-lane. Because this actually does better against tri-lanes than Searing Chains. But he's using it just to farm up. He will probably still go Searing Chains level 3. Because that difference is just remarkable and huge. And TC, actually, as a player, he was probably, from what I saw, he was the first pro player to just latch on to Ember Spirit as like a good hero. Before he was in Captain's Mode, TC was playing him in public games all of the time. Like, he even had a montage video made of his Ember Spirit plays. So, let's go back here a little bit. This is, like I was talking about before, the advantage of having an Ember Spirit. So, he's able to just pop Sleight of Fist, pop Searing Chains right after he pops Sleight of Fist, and then with that and a Soul Assumption, dead hero. Like, he's able to help out from up here across the trees with zero risk of him dying. There was no risk of him taking any damage during that entire engagement. And he did level up Searing Chains, level 3, like I said. He's able to get a little more CS now that Rubik's dead for the time being. Still has to last hit under a tower, but TC is actually really consistent and really good at getting last hits under a tower. So that is not as much of an issue with Teamliquid as it could be with potentially other teams. So TC does try to do the Searing Chains combo, but misses the Searing Chains combo, and Wei2's going to pay for it with his life, and maybe Demon as well. See, TC is really low on health. Yeah, that would have been an extra 240 magical damage on Mirana. Would have brought her down to 100, but instead she's up to, you know, she uses a salve, gets up to full, and she's fine. TC has to go back to base. They're going to lose their tier 1 soon, possibly. With Arteezy up here, actually, they're going to lose their tier 1 because Howl is really strong, and then having just the wolves on top, you know, everything just gets massive damage. And then, yeah, so it's looking who went from bad to worse for TC right here on the Ember Spirit. So he was able to secure a 3rd assist, which, you know, assists still give him gold. Just being in the vicinity of death gives him more gold, which is good, but he's just trying to get last hits with his Sleight of Fist. He does not know how many supports are down here. He does not know that it's just PPD, but even as such, they're so out-leveling him. He's not even level 6 yet, 9 minutes into the game. Mirana's level 8. I mean, even Crystal Maiden has more experience than Ember Spirit. Ember just hit his level 6. So with the Fire Remnants, you'll actually see what I'm talking about. TC will be playing his Fire Remnants a lot more defensively because he's also behind. He sees the arrow and dodges the arrow. But TC will be just watching out for himself. He was able to get his 12 CS now. So, like, he is able to get more farm for this reason alone. Bulba, he's level 8. You know, everybody is out of the lane. So TC's just able to just farm by himself while the rest of the team just causes distractions. And Arteezy and, you know, Lycan crew just go, they're pushing down every tower, which isn't good, but TC's able to get farm. And honestly, this is the only way that TC's going to be able to get farm. If TC joins in on these team fights right now, he will just die and feed. Like, they have a troll on Universe as well as Arteezy on Lycan. So popping that, you know, 60 attack speed for everybody, as well as just the massive damage from Howl, makes it so pushing towers is just simple. So TC does come and actually defends the tier 2. They're able to get a kill on Rubik, but not able to clean up anything else. 1 for nothing, and just knowing when to TP. So this is actually smart from TC to know when to TP. So he's just farming up in his lane, and then they take down the tier 1, so they can't defend the tier 1. But everybody else is at the tier 2, except for Mirana and Koikfa on the Naga Siren. And he's able to do this. He was able to cast his Searing Chains and just shut Rubik down. PPD with the manly teleport out. Was able to get out of there. But TC's teleport was able to secure them a kill on the Rubik. Keep their tower alive and push them back. So now, another advantage to this is that TC teleported back when the creep wave was at the tier 2 tower. Notice how everybody else just leaves him alone, which is really good because TC needs this farm more than anybody else, and the whole goal of these supports is to keep them away. Universe is going to try and chase down TC, but not be successful because of the remnants. He was able to lay a remnant. So one thing about the remnants is that it does make Ember Spirit weak to slow if you don't have the remnants down, because they move 2.5 times of Ember Spirit speed. So if he slowed down all of the way, which in case you didn't know, the minimum move speed is 100. His remnant could be moving at 250 move speed, which is just a crawl, and anybody can walk faster than that. Even a bootless Crystal Maiden walks faster than that, and she's the slowest hero in the game. So slows do slow down the remnants if the remnants are not laid yet. Now TC does lay all 3 remnants for that, which why he did that was because if we look, Bulba's coming in here for Mason, and he's planning on getting right here. TC is like, okay, cool. Mirana is right here. I'm right up here. I'm just going to lay my 3 remnants right down here, right around where Mirana's at. Nick still has an impale, so I'm going to impale him, or he's going to get impaled down to 300 some hit points, and then I'm just going to clean up immediately by using all my remnants. So TC starts laying his remnants, expects the stun. Bulba doesn't get the stun off because of the very quick reactions from Mason, and able to save his life. Now, you might have been better to not use that extra Vendetta damage, but 250 damage is pretty big. They would have had to lock her down afterwards. Using all 3 spirits and going for that first attack was a bit greedy, but that takes a lot of coordination to know, hey, I'm going to attack first. So TC could have jumped in with 1 spirit earlier, used a 2nd spirit, and then a Searing Chains to hit that in case he was not able to get the impale. So, like I said, really difficult. Ember Spirit, TC's able to just put it back there. He's like, it might be dangerous for me, so I'm just putting 1 spirit back there, just as a safety. And as you can see, it's actually getting dangerous for him. Zai is right here on the Rubik, so he's going to be able to pick him up. Not only pick him up, but use a Fade Bolt and steal his Searing Chains, because that was the last spell he used. So he would have another 3-second disable on top of that. But instead, TC is able to actually do the Sleight of Fist into immediate Searing Chains combo. Mirana ends up dying, throwing an arrow out to hope to get the counter kill. But TC thought so far ahead. He thought like a minute ahead there. Not a minute, because remnants only last 40 seconds. And he was able to just get out. Fantasy points. All right. Now, he was able to just get out because he had that remnant there. He did not have to use that remnant to kill the Mirana, to kill Mason. But he was also able to get out. So he fills up. See, he does have his bottle. Just like most Ember Spirits want a bottle. Even if you're safe lane, a bottle with Phase Boots is a really powerful combo. The 24 damage from Phase Boots is amazing. So he teleports back down. Zai did steal Bulba's ult as he was coming in, but TC is able to just secure the kill. Just the mobility of Ember Spirit, his ability to be everywhere at once is just phenomenal. So he jumps in, he gets a kill. and he's just going to push some more. There's right up here, like Koikva is really close to his Radiance. 15-minute Radiance in this kind of game when they're this far behind is really good. I thought Demon was going to take the hit there, but he did not. TC is laying a Remnant back here, which tells me that he wants to take down this tower. He's going to go aggressively, try to take down this tower with this creep wave, and if it doesn't work, then he'll just back up. So he goes attacking. They know they can't fight this because Troll Ultimate plus Lycan. So let's just see how quickly this tower goes down. Just watch this tower melt. Like, that is insane. Troll with Lycan together just push better than most things that I could possibly imagine. So they do have to teleport back to because, like I said, they were going with that creep wave, and if they didn't get it, they had to get out because their tower's down, you know, and that was actually really smart of Demon to check Hiroshi like that. So this does give you flying vision. The weave does give you flying vision for the duration of the spellcast, and he just used it to check the Roshan because that was actually a really... It would have been a good idea by EG to go take that tier tower and then take Rosh, but they did not. But it could have been a good idea. Could have been a potential idea. I'll put it that way. Because if they got caught off guard inside of there with TC's AoE teamfight damage on top of Naga Siren's sleep, the sleep alone could have stolen the Roshan, and then that would have put EG in a really bad position. But instead they go for the safer approach, which is to just farm up because they have more map control. So TC's still farming, and right here, Bulba is trying to stay alive. With this group, plus a Lycan, they're able to take this tower in 5 seconds. TC is going to go aggressive on this right here because Rubik was low. One sleight of fist. One sleight of fist. Just watch this. So he tries to stay alive. He tries a lot, but does not get it. That is actually a Radiant Ward. So he barely got the timing off for that. Sleight of Fist will not attack units that are invisible, but it will put the debuff on units before they're invisible and then keep them out. So Roche got started, but as we can see, EG can still do Roche under pretty much any circumstance. They were able to get him down like that fast, instantly pretty much. So TC's job is to farm up and be ready for a Roshan fight. Like, he is ready for a Roshan fight right now. Going to still try and take this tier 1 down bottom. That will give them the control to deny the access of a TP to that tier 1 for the Roshan fight. So if they can get that and the tier 1 mid down, then EG will not be able to pressure Roshan like they can. With this middle tier 1 still up, they're able to just whatever. They can go Rosh whenever. By killing this bottom tier 1, they're not able to TP to that. And TC's actually able to get a little more farm. He knows that they're trying to pressure this tier 1 or tier 2 top, and they will be able to get it faster than him. So they decide to give up the tower and then just go for farm and try to put pressure on this tower down here. Yeah, just look, full health, no health. Look at the in-game seconds. I just skipped back 10 seconds ago. They're going for it. And 33, they start attacking. 36 and a half, it dies. Like 4 seconds to kill the entire tower. So Liquid does not have as much push as this. They have a decent amount of split push though, so they can force heroes back and save their base that way. Force heroes back and then TP back themselves after they see the other team TP in. So Ember Spirit is back at base. He's working on his Battle Fury, which is interesting because you would think, oh, you're behind, I'm going to get items to catch up. What TC is thinking is, oh, we're behind, so I'm going to get items so that we can win this game. He is actually taking a bigger risk here with a better payoff, assuming he doesn't die. He was 0-3, and now he's 3-3. So he's feeling powerful on the net worth. He's probably still low. Yeah, he's below 3 people on EG. He is down in the middle. You know, he has half the net worth of the top 2 players. But that's okay, because once TC gets his first Battle Fury, farming will be simple. He is able to chase. He will have another Remnant ready, so he'll be able to chase Rubik right here and just go for it. So one thing that TC did that was really smart is right here, his Remnant is ready. And normally you would think, oh, I'm going to cast on top of the hero. I'm going to go and hit the hero. TC knows that he has Boba back here, and he has way 2 back here. So what he does is he overshoots the hero in the direction that they would be going, i.e. the direction to get a TP scroll, because he knows Zai does not have a TP scroll and needs a TP to get out. So he goes and he puts one right here, because Zai is either going to run this way or possibly this way, but he'll be caught out this way. And if TC goes right on top of him, Zai might be able to juke farther and outrun him. So what TC does is he lays one right there and then just corners Zai. So they were able to just pincer him into there and be able to get that kill. That was smart off the top of the head thinking by TC to be able to just know where to go in order to secure the kill instead of just go aggressive and try and make sure to hit him on top of it with the damage. So TC almost has his Battle Fury number 1, which a 23-minute Battle Fury is not that good in general on a carry, but he is making up for what was happening before. Usually with free farm, I think the most aggressive time was during TI2, when they had, maybe it was even before TI2, when they had Lich and Anti-Mage in the middle lane together. Yeah, I think that was even before TI2. They would stick them together, and Anti-Mage would just safely farm for a naked Battle Fury and get it in under 10 minutes. So 24-minute Battle Fury is not that good. With a couple more creep waves, TC will have enough gold for it. He just needs a few hundred more. See, he's still able to get all of those tower hits, all of the last hits underneath the tier 3 tower. So just focusing on getting every single last hit. Every last hit matters. See, he knows this creep is dead, so he just whacks this creep and that creep. He gets all but one, but he has enough for his Battle Fury now. He's flying the courier out to the secret shop to pick up the Perseverance, and now he has a Battle Fury, 24-minute Battle Fury. So TC is catching up from a behind stance, and TP's back just in case, because Mirana did ult, and his team let him know that, and he didn't know if he was getting attacked or if Way 2 was getting attacked. Way 2 was getting attacked, so he will go down for free, and the familiars will be able to get out barely, but it does make room for Liquid, because they now know that there are 3 heroes up top, and Arteezy is by himself. This is actually used to burn down Arteezy's ult. He does have the Aegis and gets shallow graved right here, but Arteezy has nothing left. No BKB, not even close to BKB yet. No ultimate, nothing. Just gets cornered and killed twice. So trading in Way Too Sexy for the Arteezy Lycanthrope is a really good trade for them, because now they can defend this tier 3 tower. With Arteezy gone, they'll be able to defend this tower. Liquid is just, they can go as aggressive as they want right here. They know that they're down 2 heroes, down 3 heroes now. Just wipe them up. And what looked to be like an unwinnable game, because Liquid as a whole was able to give TC the farm he needed, but TC was also not just AFK farming like it's so popular once you're behind. He was participating in team fights when he could take an advantage. So very smart decision making by TC to actually do that. So right now, Liquid, if we actually look at the map, they have 0 tier 2 towers left. Nothing. They just have these tier 3 towers. This is all they have left of their base. And if we look at EG, they have 2 tier 1 towers left. And then the tier 2 down here. They have only lost 1 tower. So, even though Liquid is doing a great job right now and is ahead in experience, probably, I would guess they're ahead in experience by a couple thousand. Let's see. Oh, nope, they are still behind by a couple thousand. But they're getting farther and farther out of the hole. And since TC is actually getting a decent amount of farm, we actually look at the net worth. TC is still in the middle, but he's almost the same as the Troll now. He's getting closer to where the Lycan is at, only 2,500 away. And Ember scales very well with items, more so than, Lycan or any other hero on this map, except for Naga Siren, which Liquid also has. So, Liquid has the 2 heroes that scale the best with items. Radiance on Naga Siren with the mirror images help to just keep everything down. And has a Manta style as well, just able to keep everything down. And from this point, it's looking better for Team Liquid, but not the greatest. TC accidentally left the fight when I don't think he wanted to, but he just goes. He gets the last hit on PPD, and then they're going forward to try and get more kills, but they're not able to find anyone. So TC is just going. He's going to be working on his second Battle Fury. Like I said, a popular build is to just go multi-Battle Fury. So he's going to be working on his second Battle Fury now. Almost has enough for it because it's only costs like 4,200 for a Battle Fury, and he has 3,600 gold. So he got his first Battle Fury at 23 minutes, and he's going to get his second Battle Fury at like 31 minutes. So the second Battle Fury only took 8 minutes for him to get. See, he does get the Claymore, so he is going for another Battle Fury. But once he gets his second Battle Fury, EG will not be able to push like they are right now. Like EG is just able to push down during these team fights. Like just Lycan's summons almost kill TC, but he actually uses his sleight of fist to just delay the action. And Demon with a very, very well timed Shallow Grave saves TC's life. But the unfortunate thing about this is, even though Liquid is doing really well right now, staying alive, they still lose base. They still lose their base. And that just, it is a testament to how powerful Lycan is at pushing. During the draft, actually I did not show the draft this game, but during the draft, Liquid did not ban Ember Spirit or Lycan to say, hey, EG, you can have one of these heroes because EG had first pick, and we will get 2 heroes that we want. That is a very advanced drafting strategy that the top teams all do, especially in important tournaments, is they will purposely give away multiple good heroes to say, hey, choose which one of these awesome heroes you want, and we'll pick another one. So there are 2 ways to fight as far as like in that ban draft stage, is you can either ban all of the powerful heroes and nobody gets them, or you can ban none of the powerful heroes, or the most sought after heroes, and then you get some and they get some. And that's how Ember Spirit and Lycan are both in this game, even though they are the top rated bans right now. Invoker is also up there, but they said, hey, we're going, since EG had 1 pick, they picked one of the heroes, and then Liquid is like, okay, we'll pick Ember Spirit, and then they picked up Naga Siren as well, because it secures their game. And Naga Siren is very versatile. I mean, we saw Fluff and Stuff playing on Naga Siren in the previous game. Or Fluff and Stuff was playing Dazzle, and Demon was playing... Sorry, he was buffing Stuff. So, Demon was actually playing on the Naga. One other thing, just watch how quickly this dies. The power of this lineup is just absurd. I've never seen, like, this much power. Like 2 seconds to kill Roshan. Just straight up 2 seconds. Even though Liquid was prepared for it, just died. Just dead. And that just shows you Desolator on Troll, as well as 120 attack speed, and Lycan with his summons was able to just take down Roshan instantly. And now they're going to want to push and take down more barracks. Like that is just what EG is going to do. Because they know they're on a timer. If they can get everything, they will. But I'm going to slow down this team fight to give you an idea of what happens. So TC, his positioning is very good in this fight. We can actually see. So TC thought there were more people up here, which is why he used a sleight of fist into Searing Chains. But it was just Universe out of position. TC, he's not going anywhere near this fight right now. He is not going to go on the high ground. He's just staying right here. And then Koikva is able to cancel out Crystal Maiden's ultimate. And TC says, oh, hey, we can go in. Troll is gone. And he's just going to be able to use one Sleight of Fist with 2 Battle Furies. Crystal Maiden will probably die just from that. And Mason stands to possibly die from that as well. But as you can see, just everything dies instantly right after that. TC did get stunned, but it was not a major issue. As you can see, they're able to catch out Lycan, but the thing is, Lycan's going to come back alive. No BKB, no ultimate, nothing. Like, he's just dead. So, EG lost 4 heroes there for nothing, and they had an Aegis. But the thing is, they were still almost able to get that range Rax, even though they lost that fight horribly. So, TC is going to just team up with the team, get together, and hold out for probably one more last team fight. EG is becoming less and less effective against this Naga Siren Ember Spirit duo, of course, because they're both very, very potent. Ember Spirit picks up a Ghost Scepter for defense because the physical damage of Troll Warlord and Lycan and his illusion, well, his Necronomicon as well as his wolves is enough to take him down. He knows that if he just Ghost Scepters, he will be safe for those 4 seconds and he can, get out or do whatever. So it's just a nice saying, hey, I don't want to lose this game, so I'm going to get something defensive to not lose this game. He already has a decent amount of damage, and the stats on top of it help out in and of itself. Plus 7 to all stats for 1600 gold is remarkably good. And just having a Ghost Scepter just is like, hey, I'm going to save enough for buyback, and then I'm just going to have as much defense as possible right now. Again, another testament to TC playing defensively compared to other carries. So they're going to smoke up right here. Oh, sorry. Back up just a little bit. I did not realize this was coming so quickly. Alright, here we go. Sorry about that. Ready, set, and go. Cool. Alright, so Liquid smokes up because that last team fight went so well for them. And EG had the Aegis. They know if they can catch them off guard outside of the base, they're going to do that. So TC was able to take down half of their hit points just instantly with one Sleight of Fist. And he almost gets another Sleight of Fist ready. Since it's physical damage, he can use it, and EG's Universe just dies. And they're going to chase down Arteezy. No more BKB, no more life. And they were able to take him out. So Liquid wanted to fight EG outside of the base for that last team fight. They really wanted to fight outside of the base because their previous team fights, even though they were going even or winning, they were losing a barracks every time. So Liquid said, hey, we'll fight outside of the base so you don't have that opportunity of a fallback to kill one of our Raxes. I mean, they could have easily killed the range Rax in like a quarter of a second with the amount of push that they have, or even like if they would have fought up top, they could have killed that. So they smoke up, fight outside of the base before EG gets a chance to go to the tier 3, and that way they secure their base, while at the same time, because they have a better team fight with the dual Battle Fury and the Naga Siren, with the Manta Style and the Radiance and the Boots of Travel and the Heart, they're going to win for very little losses. And that's what they do. They go out. I mean, they lose more heroes because of that. You know, they lose the Nyx Assassin and the Visage, but they were able to take that team fight, and then they're able to find out PPD, and EG knows that that was their last stand, and they GG out of the game. Even before any of their Raxes are dead, they GG, and the game is over. So that's the game. Cool. So I hope you guys got like a good understanding of why Ember Spirit is picked up so frequently, as well as his versatility. Being played as a heavy carry and a mid hero just does a lot for that hero. Like, he is able to just fill a lot of gaps in lineups. And he's also able to carry as well as have a potent early game. The reason why Gyrocopter was picked up after TI2 and all the way into TI3 was because he was powerful from level 1 and had a really good team fight. Ember Spirit fills the same gap as Gyrocopter, but he scales incredibly well, and he's just a safer version of Gyrocopter. Many people were like, Medusa is coming into the game, and she will be like Gyrocopter on steroids late game. Well, the problem is Ember Spirit fills the role where he's right now like Gyrocopter and Medusa, but he has a really good early game unlike Medusa. So Ember is able to encompass that and then take control. So he fills the gap where teams would normally pick Gyrocopter or Medusa, which Havost plays Medusa a lot for Na'Vi, or he has the most and has the most success with that. But Medusa hasn't really been a strong pickup, especially in the current game where games last 30 minutes or 40 minutes tops. Medusa is like, this game is going to last 60 minutes and we're going to win late game. But Ember Spirit fills the gap where if the game lasts 40 minutes, Ember Spirit is just on fire. If the game would last 60 minutes and you had a Medusa, that would be better. But being able to secure that early game, even when you're behind, like TC was, is good. And also in the first game, being able to play him as a mid against certain heroes like a Dragon Knight, and then getting mid-game items so that you're not really the heavy carry role, but you're able to contribute throughout the entire game, makes him a powerful mid-hero as well. Similar to Storm Spirit in that manner, that you can just keep that pressure on, semi-carry, but have a lot of pressure in the middle game. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. RoopleeTV at gmail.com, or leave a comment on the YouTube video. But yeah, that's all I've got for the day. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time.